Here we go. Okay, I am.
I've got it.
Thank you. Good morning again for the cloud too. So thank you. Oh, look at this. I'm getting a fancy shake. What's in here?
It's vanilla with fresh strawberries and TDM.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
From the farm.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. That's the best thing about living in Cape Town. You can buy the fruit from the farm. So yes, I was last night I looked for something to share with you guys. I had a thing in my head and then I couldn't find the right clip, but eventually I found this one that I thought was very suitable. But I'd like you to just listen and with your own ears and see if there's maybe something that resonates with you, and share that with us afterwards. This is a safe place. This is like, imagine that you're in your family, but a non-judgmental family, and that you can come and share here and grow here because there's zero judgment. So this is a clip about Vusi Tembekwayo, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. He is a very well-known speaker, and he also did a talk one for us at a training before. So he's a very wise guy. And see what you think. And then I'd like to talk a little bit more about what Peter spoke about yesterday about the habits. So think about what, if you can relate to this.
So, if you study people who are at the pinnacle of anything, you recognize that to get there, motivation was maybe 1% of the formula, maybe. 1%. And I'll prove it to you. If you want to become a world-class bodybuilder, say an IFBB pro, what that takes is you have to train twice a day, 6 days a week. You have to have 8 meals a day. Your calorie intake is regimented. Your meals are pre-planned and pre-cooked. You don't eat according to taste, you eat according to function. So my trainer, for instance, will eat and I'm going, what are you eating? And he's having he'll have chicken that was boiled without salt. And he'll have like half a kilo of it. What are you doing? He says, I'm taking in protein. He doesn't say I'm eating. He says, I'm taking in protein. For him, it's functional. It's not taste-based. Then you will probably have to train for a minimum, and this is if you are a genetic phenom, you'd have to train for a minimum of 10 years before you could get on a stage and compete at an average level with an average global bodybuilder. Average. Okay. So why am I telling you this? All of us here at the beginning of a new year write these things called New Year's resolutions. And then New Year's resolutions, number 1, make more money. Yeah? Number 2, change my boyfriend. Number 3, get into shape. Yeah? Number 3, get into shape is somewhere in the top 3. So what do? You go to the gym, you get a gym membership. Yeah? You go to the local Nike store and you buy like all of your gym gear. You are motivated. You are inspired. You are going to the damn gym. You go to YouTube, you subscribe to all of the fitness channels. You go to Instagram, you follow all of the fitness models. You are motivated. You are going to the damn gym. You're going to get in shape. That's what you're going to do. The people you're following on YouTube have been working on for a minimum of 5 years to look like that. So you have the incorrect understanding that after a month of working out, you're going to look like them. So what happens in the first month? You're excited. You go to gym every single month, and you take the pains and your body is sore, but I'm excited. I'm going to gym. Then life happens. Company doesn't make money. You don't make your targets. you fall a bit ill, something happens, and all of a sudden you stop going to gym for a day becomes two becomes a week. Now all of a sudden you've had a gym membership for 3 months and you haven't been in that time. What did you miss? You thought motivation was the formula. Winners don't need motivation. Winners need discipline. Discipline's about getting it done because it needs to get done, not because I feel like it, not because I'm motivated for it. You think Nelson Mandela was motivated to spend 27 years in prison? You think Martin Luther King was motivated to march across the states and proclaim freedom? You think, if you look at people that change the world, they're not doing it because they're motivated. They're doing it because they made a commitment to do it and they disciplined to see it through. Discipline is far more important than motivation, which is why you got to be careful the decisions you make, because once you make the decision, you have to see that decision through. Like my mentor says, first we make the decisions, then the decisions make us. So you got to be very careful the decisions you make. Be very careful the commitments you make. Motivation, I'm telling you now, is completely overrated. It's important, don't get me wrong. We meet according to motivation, we feel good, rah-rah, but that'll fade. You need a stronger will and a deeper commitment to see things through.
Great. So yeah, he obviously did that talk in the beginning of the year, but it's so typical because those are always the New Year's resolutions that we make. And we in August, almost September now, and I am sure most of us made those resolutions and life got in the way. And I think that is really, where the habits come in. So if you put consistent small habits into place and you make it something that you want to do, and you make it really something that suits your personality, and then you follow through, and then the discipline comes together with that. So but I always think about, you can only make decisions about things that you have control over, because we're so easy to say, oh, but my customers, they just use the products once, or they get one tummy ache and then they stop, or we don't have control over those things. We only have control over 3 basic things. And when I talk about this, I'm always amazed myself that it's only 3 things. You only have real control over what you say, what you do, and what you think, and what you feel. Now, I'm not talking, the feelings that you have when you're in a deep trauma and somebody close to you die or something like that. But those are the 3 things that you have control over. So if you think a negative thought, you can have a negative, like Laverne said last week, a negative feeling will come. But those are the only things that you can control. So why worry about the things outside your control? You can only influence them maybe a little bit, but you cannot control them. So maybe it's time to let go of those things and rather focus on the things that we can change. And the easiest way to do that is to have small habits, change small habits. So, and that's why with our 10-day marathons now, we want people to do a daily food log so that we can help our customers and ourselves to see and be aware of what they put into their mouth every day. So they had this study where 1,600 people took part of, and they found that if you keep a daily food log, you can lose, the people that did that lost twice as much weight as those who did not. So they put those habits into place and they followed up with it, and they managed to lose twice as much weight. And also it helps you to keep you honest. So I'm really trying hard to put a new habit in place. I'm not trying, I am doing it, to work on my income producing activities. So in the book James Clear, Atomic Habits, he suggests that you put a paperclip from one container to another every time you made a phone call or you spoke to somebody or, on social media. And I remember at school, we used to, when I was a teacher, we used to have marbles from one container to the other. So if a kid could concentrate or he had on-task behavior, it was like a secret between him and the teacher. I'll put a marble in here, and if your jar of marbles get full at the end of the day, then you can maybe get a reward. But it's a visual thing. So I don't have paper clips, so I started with elastics. And if I want to talk to 7 people, I've got my little heap of 7 elastics. And every time I spoke to somebody, I get that instant gratification of putting the elastic onto a pen or something that I have here, because it's easy and it's visual and I can see, and it really gives you a good feeling. So I challenge you to do something like that. It's really, it makes a big difference. And yeah. The other thing is, if you track your habits, so that's why bullet journals are so popular. If you track it, it gives you that idea of I'm becoming the person, the type of person that I wish to become. And we all want to grow. We all want to get better, even if it's just 1% every year. We want to propel ourselves forward. So tracking gives you that opportunity to do that. And yeah, I think this makes such a lot of sense to me. The first mistake is never the one that ruins you. It's the spiral of mistakes. So if you get back onto the bandwagon, if you had a cheesecake with your friend at the coffee shop, and you then decide, oh, my day is ruined anyway, you've got that all or nothing thing, I can just as well now go and have all the sweets in the cupboard and the ginger biscuits, a trigger food for me, until my tummy's like this, then chances are that you can start a new habit with that rather than just getting back on the wagon and say, no, hang on, that was okay, it was a mistake, I enjoyed it, but not a mistake, or I deviated from my habit, but I'm back on track now because I really want to be healthy. And then, yeah, so tracking gives you that visual cue and it motivates you inherently. So, you heard what we said, you can't stay, nobody can stay motivated, guys. We just be human. So we need some extra help. It feels satisfying, and when they say that when successful people fail, they rebound quickly. So if you stay in that hole, if somebody said no to you, one of my best friends signed up in the business and emailed me yesterday, oh no, can she resign from the business? If you have a disappointment like that, how long are you going to stay in the hole? Are you going to decide, is this terrible? Nobody's going to do this. Am I going to go into that? Or what I did eventually is I went to the mirror and I looked at myself and I said, it's not in my control. It's got nothing to do with me. It's her decision and her life. And that really was very liberating for me. So yeah, that's what I had to share today. I don't know if anybody wants to add. Anybody had maybe an aha moment along the way? Who wants to share anything?
Carina, I love the band or something visual when you because that will edge you on to actually complete the task, because we all seem to allow distractions to get us to stop and not finish, making those calls. And so, I need to start my video. I'm sorry, I didn't really want you guys to see me this morning. But anyone me in all different faces, so it doesn't matter. But I love that. I think, we all tend to, procrastination is probably the biggest killer for us all. And one of my things is sometimes to put off my exercise. So I'm going to find something that I need to move or something to make until I've done my exercise for the day. So yeah, and enjoying it. Running outside is one of my best. So when it's raining, I've got to go and get a video to exercise. So daar sal jy so goed met dit. So anyway.
Yeah, it is
Thanks,
amazing.
Carina.
Thank you for that. Yes, that's very powerful. It really makes a difference. With those little bands, it's such a small thing, but I can chase the 7. I can chase my number now. I can say, okay, let's see how quickly I can get those 7 bands from here to there. And then I know I've done it. I can then get on with the other things, the distracting things, Anybody else found a way to get them to do the things that's not always so easy to do?
For me, it was the reminder.
Gertruida, yeah.
Okay, for my, just the reminder to focus on the things that you can control and leave the others. Not waste your time on things that you can't control. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's really, I think, one of the most reassuring things that you can always keep in the back of your mind, because it's easy to get into an anxiety mode and worrying about everything and worrying about, is the plane going to fall when I crash, when I get into it? You've got absolutely no control over those things. You've got no control over what other people think. And I think that's another trap that we fall into as well. We think, oh, what are they going to think of me? You don't have any idea what's going on in their heads. So why worry about it all the time? There's no way that you can be a clairvoyant like that. So yeah. Anybody else?
Carina, if I may, I love the 3 things that we have control. Yeah, but we go through a day like we have 30,000 things that we need to control. It just that's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's true. And we think we have to control everything and keep all the balls in the air. And in the end, you're so exhausted trying to control everything else around you that you don't get to doing the controlling the things that you really have control over. So
you want to get away from feeling overwhelmed, because that is, again, if we're looking at somebody that's got like 30, 50 kilos to lose, I always say to them, forget about the big number. We are doing the next 5 kilos. So forget about where the end goal is. We're doing short rewards all along the way. And I think that's, where we tend to beat ourselves up that I haven't done that, I haven't done this, but focusing on what you have done and rewarding yourself and the feeling that comes along with that. Yay, well done, high five. This is why I love so much Mel Robbins' stuff, where she's always saying self-love, reward yourself, set small little things that you can, as you go, feel like I've accomplished it. So with the business, making your goal too big, rather smaller goals, what you can do today, what you can do this month. And then if you are consistent, you will get to the big one. So I think that's applicable in so many ways. Really love it. Thank you, Carina. It was very great.
Okay. And then I wanted to share a recipe with you. I took a picture of our recipe book of the banana bread. I'm going to make this today. I got all my ingredients yesterday. I couldn't get wholemeal flour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some oats in my blender and use that. And I hope that's going to work. I'll let you know. But I've got some bananas here that are ready for this, so I'm really excited. If you don't have this recipe book yet, really it is amazing. It's totally amazing. And then this is the
Carina,
yes. Somebody wants to say something?
I made that
Did you
banana
make
bread
this?
a
Yeah?
while ago, and it was really delicious.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. I'm very excited to try it out today. Thank you. Any tips? that
Dit
you
was
think
regtig
about?
baie lekker.
That's great.
Is it? Okay, I'm
Ek
making
gaan jou
it.
nie
I'll
vandag
post-
join. Nog nie.
I'll po- okay,
Naweek
not,
af.
not today, next week. It's not a trigger
Next
food for me, so I'll be able to just eat one slice. It's fine. Okay, and this saying was so cool when I saw it. I thought it's just something that we can keep in our heads for the day. Incredible change happens in your life when you decide to take control of what you do have power over, instead of craving control over what you don't. So let's go into the day and take control over what we have power over.
That's cool. Baie dankie.
Thank you, everybody. Have a lovely day.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Dankie Carina, bye.
Bye.